Good evening and welcome back to From the 80s View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. I've been gone for a little while. I've had an opportunity to go on vacation and get a break. And now I'm re-energized and I'm so stoked and so pumped to start our episodes once again here on From the 80s View. Today's guest is a special guest, a young lady that I met at NAGDA. She's an up and coming athletics administrator, and as when you meet her, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Karen Hall.
Hello.
Dr. Hall, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Dr. Brown. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Hall, we're going to talk about a few topics that are near and dear to your heart and mine, right? And I just need to get a brief thought from you about the topics. When we talk about the importance of leadership in athletics, what comes to mind?
Influence.
Influence. Okay. When we talk about the surgence of women's athletics, what say you, Dr. Hall?
Title IX.
Title IX. Okay. And then for the last 14 days or so, 15 days or so, the Olympics have been going on. What do you think about the Olympics, Dr. Hall?
Exhilarating.
Exhilarating. These topics and more on From the 80s View. Let's get it. Welcome back to the show. And as I said before, it's been a exhilarating time for me because I've had an opportunity to go on vacation and I've had an opportunity to really kind of rejuvenate myself and come back so that I can have more exciting guests on my show like today. But before we get back to our guest, I'd like to thank God who's the head of my life, because without him, none of the things in this fantastic life that he's given me would be possible at all. Not as a father, not as a husband, not as a professional in athletics, doing the things that I love to do so much. So I want to make sure that I give him complete honor over all the things that he's done. So let's bring back Dr. Hall. Dr. Karen Hall is a former head women's and assistant men's coach for the NCAA Institute of Collegiate Basketball, that program. She serves as a court supervisor and a site supervisor for the ACC Conference, the Atlantic 10 Conference, the Mountain West Conference, and for the Women's NIT. She is the executive director of Leadership Learning Lab. She's the assistant professor with Roland School of Business in amateur athletics. She's a color analyst for college basketball for ESPN3, and she's the assistant director of Ozanan Basketball Incorporated. Again, Dr. Hall, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown.
So tell the audience a little bit about you, Dr. Hall. I mean, you have this incredible background that you are a pioneer in women's athletics, and you've crossed over to help men in athletics as well. You've done that. You're an author. You are an up and coming. You have been in athletics administration, but you're up and coming, and you're aspiring to move up to that next level. We met at the NAGDA conference, and your energy is infectious. Your passion for athletics is second to none. But tell the audience a little bit about who Dr. Karen Hall is.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all that. And as exciting as I am about what you've mentioned, the storyline for me is to be able to give back, to influence, and to impact. I've had the opportunity as a youth to learn about the wonderful game of basketball. And literally, that's been at the center of everything that you've mentioned and that I've done. It's about being able to grow yourself while having the opportunity to grow others. Through coaching both men and women at the collegiate level, through championship operations, which from the mindset standpoint has taken me to a different realm of administration. And then the whole education piece, the education and the communication piece, all of my passions. So I'm living in my sweet space of my passions where I'm able to branch out and have tentacles moving out and touching different people from ages 5 years old all the way up. So I'm
Sure.
just so thankful to be in that space.
And we are thankful to have you, Dr. Hall, because when we met in Vegas, and when we share some mutual friends. John Ashalu is someone that we share because you are an assistant professor there at Point Park. You're a Pittsburgher, and I was a temporary Pittsburgher when I taught at Winchester Thurston School as the AD. So we share some things in common, and in meeting you, Dr. Hall, it was immediate that there was a bond there and some chemistry. And as I've we talked, and I'm like, I have to get you on my show, and you like, I need to be on your show. And then we the summer went along, and then I went on vacation, but got in contact with you. And as soon as I got in contact with you, Dr. Hall, you responded, and you lived up to everything that I thought you were going to be as a guest. And so I'm so glad and so happy to have you. And I'm so glad that you are a member of this industry, because we need more people like Dr. Karen Hall in this industry to care about our men and our women that participate, to care about the governance, to care about legislation, to help with policy, and all the things that you've done for us. And so, as we talk about this first topic, which is near and dear to you, right? And we're going to talk about your book in our last segment a little bit on leadership, but the importance of leadership in NCAA athletics. I think at the beginning in the opening, you said influence, right? Or impact, right? How does the leadership uh, how does that look to you as someone who has been an athlete, who's been an administrator, and now who is looking to be that person to sit in the chair in athletics? How does that look to you, Dr. Hall?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Cedric, Dr. Brown. Excuse me. That's a great question. It starts with visualization and it starts with representation. I'm a young Black woman aspiring, and there are people who have come before me, people who will be after me that pave the way of representation of not only women, but of women of color. And influence in the seat has nothing to do with the position. It all has to do with how can you reach out and touch others to motivate them, to give them some direction, to inspire them to be whatever's happening in their mind, however their vision, their life vision is seeing it. I see the life my worldview is athletics, and the job of an administrator and a leader is to literally make everyone else around you better, to help them achieve what they have in their mind. And it's not about you. So leaders have to understand that we are givers. We are true givers of ourselves for the benefit of other people. I say exceptional people and coaches, they have tentacles coming out of their arms because those are the branches of people that they helped branch out into their own profession. So the
Sure.
influence of a leader is intentional.
Sure. And you were so astute in that observation, Dr. Hall, that we are givers, right? We are servant leaders for others, right? As we stand on the shoulders of the ones that came before us, um, we're asking the ones that are coming behind us that we're leading to do the same thing for us. and it has to be intentional, right? It has to be a very intentional thing. And as I think about what you're actually saying, we have more women, right, that are in high level leadership roles in athletics than we've ever had before. And at the same time, we still don't have enough, right? We still don't have enough. And one being, we don't have Dr. Karen Hall running an athletics program somewhere inside this country. You know, it is it is amazing at the work that we've done, right? And we can get better. And I look forward to us getting better. So as we talk about that leadership piece, right, we have to talk about the advocacy of student athletes as well, Dr. Hall. Um, I work with the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, those leaders, right, in SAC, and they're doing some wonderful things across the country in SAC with governance, giving student athletes voices, being able to sit with athletics administrators. What do you believe is the key to making it better for student athletes as leaders in this multi-billion dollar industry, and how can we help be more of an advocate for them?
Yeah, again, Dr. Brown, just spot on. It starts with relationships. Like we have to teach the young student athletes who are involved in SAC, who are in our Department of Athletics, and you have women in sports and entertainment. That's wise. We have to first teach them about relationship building. We have to teach them about visualization and having a vision and having a thought of what do you take with this knowledge that you are sitting in a special place as a SAC representative, and how do you presently influence and impact the student athletes that you are peers of. So it is vital that the SAC monitors, WISE monitors, plant the seed in these members of these
Sure,
organizations at the collegiate level.
sure. And as you say that, I am amazed at the the approach that our student athletes take to leadership. Articulate, clear, concise. They know what they want. When they have their seat at the table, they produce, and it's making them better, and it's making us better. The last thing before we go to break is I want to talk about something that's very important to you. Is uh, again, more women in leadership roles and more minority women and men in leadership roles. What can institutions do to create more opportunities for women and minorities in high level leadership roles, senior associate roles, deputy roles, and the director of athletics roles?
Yes, so thank you for that again. I love the question because at the leadership at the higher level, I'm going to use myself for an example, and others out there like myself, is that invite us into spaces that we reach out to say, here I am. These are interests of mine. Invite us in as a they have the shadow of the day. Well, invite it in as a senior associate AD shadow of the day. Like, what is it in the life of that? That costs nothing. All it costs is time for someone to say, follow me. Present opportunities out there for everyone, not just, we say the young ones for sure, but those who have experience to sit in those seats and be able to guide, influence, and direct. Invite us
Sure,
into the spaces.
sure. And having done that, Dr. Hall, having done the opportunity to invite individuals in to shadow, to be mentees, to have opportunities to see what it's in from the inside is absolutely paramount to the success, the overall success of that department.
Yes.
So do me a favor, Dr. Hall, stay with me, right? We're going to be back after this message, right? So we have a lot more to talk about. You are watching From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. We'll be right back after this break.
Renting is everything. It's style at your doorstep, off the runway and into your closet. It's every trend you've been dying to try and every designer you've yet to discover. It's wearing it your way every time and making it count everywhere you go. It's never worrying about what to wear because something new is always coming your way. That's why renting is everything. New styles, top designers, all for a flat monthly fee. Start your subscription at renttherunway.com.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What will we do without it?
Welcome back. You're watching From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. And before we bring back our guest, I'd like to talk about my book. It was an opportunity for me to share some thoughts, to ask questions, to find out what different pathways were. As you can see on the screen, the book title is How Black Men Overcome Racial Barriers and the Status Quo in NCAA Institutions. It was a narrative inquiry, which means I did semi-structured interviews with different sitting and retired ADs, senior associate ADs, assistant ADs, to find out, men of color, to find out what influence that they had that helped them overcome perceived or real racial barriers inside this institution. And I wanted to make sure that it was done from a positive point of view, right? Not this, they're holding me back, they're keeping me down, but what are the key things that are helping these men that are currently and previously in this industry? What helped them to progress? And there were three themes that came out. There were benefits in having role models. There were the role models had expectations of their mentees, and then how to approach perceived racial barriers. And I'm so thankful for all of my mentors that helped me with the project, and it was gratifying. And you can purchase the book at Amazon.com. And again, the title is How Black Men Overcome Racial Barriers and the Status Quo in NCAA Institutions. It's a narrative inquiry. And if you want to learn more about things that I'm doing inside of my life and in the business, you can get me at From the AD's View. That is my YouTube channel at From the AD's View. If you'd like to see more past episodes, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is From the AD's View. If you'd like to email me at fromtheadsview@gmail.com. And then last but not least, I cannot thank enough Leon Thomas and the Leon Thomas Group and my producer, Dr. J. Rosenko, for all the magic that happens in this show. And you can catch my show on the new Leon Thomas Radio Network. And then you can find that at the leonthomasgroup.com. And it's a fantastic group that I work with. I haven't been doing this a long period of time, but what you see in every episode is the magic that comes out of the great work from the Leon Thomas Group. From the 80s View can be seen on Sunday evenings at 6:40 Central, 7:40 Eastern. And again, if you want to be a part of the show, email me from the 80s View at gmail.com or get in contact me through my YouTube channel. And if you like it, click on it, subscribe, and you'll get more and more open and honest information from the 80s View. Now let's bring back Dr. Karen Hall. Dr. Hall, I've been excited to talk to you about this topic right here because I know that every time that you see a WNBA game, every time that you see NCAA women's basketball game, when you are watching NCAA softball, and then when you talk about how the women are killing it with name, image, and likeness and things like that, let's talk about the surgence of women's athletics today. And specifically, let's talk about what these women are doing in this WNBA. They're killing it, Dr. Hall.
Oh my goodness gracious. This is such a great time to be a woman athlete. And the women behind me and the little girls, they have all these role models to look up to in the softball, in the basketball, and even flag football, which is an emerging sport around our country. That's number one. That's where some of the excitement starts. But the women in the WNBA, they've always been getting it done. But I will say the biggest difference of the emergence of it is that media exposure is blown up, and it's now commonplace to click on to see a WNBA game. That's
Sure.
one of the main differences.
And you know more about that than anybody, uh, Dr. Hall, because you are a color analyst for ESPN3. So I'm sure that you get a lot of the smaller schools, the FCS schools, maybe some Group 5 stuff, maybe some Division 2, Division 3 things. What are you seeing with women's athletics and you sitting there with your analyst partner and you all are seeing it live in real time?
Yeah, so thank you for that. The biggest observation that I have seen is one is the number of women that are playing sports. That is like so evident. So how do I see that? You look at the benches, you look at the number of assistant coaches that these head coaches have at their have with them to help them grow their programs.
Sure.
Record numbers.
Sure. And I look at that, and you brought up um, flag football, and I'm gonna have Jay leave it here on us right now for this second. I watched the flag football championships. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. Those young ladies are absolutely magnificent, right? They're high school aged, right? And they are freshman through senior. Dr. Hall, those young ladies are killing it. They're killing it.
You give women an opportunity, they will bring it in every facet.
I love that. I love it. If you give women the opportunity, they will bring it. And you heard that from Dr. Hall right here on From the 80s View. And we're sponsored by the Leon Thomas Group, who also has I have a slate of colleagues, female colleagues that are on the Leon Thomas Group that kill it every single day. Jasmine Pollock, she kills it every single day. So I'm excited about that. So again, WNBA, I mean, not WNBA, but NCAA basketball, Iowa, Caitlin Clark, LSU, Angel Reese, South Carolina, you know, Coach Staley. What's going on? This is not a surprise though, Dr. Clark. This is not a surprise to you because you've known that these women have been killing it since day one, right? And we're behind. We are behind. Why are we so behind, Dr. Hall?
Well, it goes back to the mindset, right? So when you talk about media and television, it comes down to the dollars. So the difference today is now the men in the media and the executives consider a financial gain, a financial product that can bring sponsorship, viewership. It's been happening for a very long
A
time.
long time,
A
sure, a
long
long
time.
time. Absolutely. And, before we go to the next topic, we have the women at Oklahoma University softball, three-time national champions. And, I don't know because I haven't done that research yet. But if there is a men's baseball team that has done that, then our women, the women should get as much notoriety than the men on the baseball side, right? Because they are absolutely, you talking about a dynasty. They are it's unfair. They're destroying college softball right now, and we love it, right? If they can go for four, they can go for five. LeBron said not three, not four, not five, not six. Well, I hope that the Oklahoma Sooners, the softball program, that they run the table and get three more because it's going to be exciting, and we're finally going to give the women the due that they are, that they need, right? And then the last thing, Dr. Clark, that we're going to talk about, and I'm gonna try to get to this today, is we have some Olympic events that are going on, have been going on for the last 15 days, right? It's going to culminate tomorrow. Um, we currently sit at my last count. We currently sit at 33 golds, and we have 111 total medals, and that's we're tied with China in golds as far as and I haven't watched early morning because I know they're 8 hours ahead of us. Um, but we have women's soccer coming up at 11 Eastern Standard Time, gold. They're playing for gold. We have men's hoops today at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. They're playing France, the home country, for gold. And tomorrow we have our undefeated for 60 straight games, our women's USA basketball team tomorrow, Sunday at 9:30 in the morning, and they play France. And I'm sorry, France, you gave us a good time in Paris. You did good for us, but it's going to be 61 tomorrow. What do you say, Dr. Hall?
Not even close. Not even close. It's all about that. We're hot. It's just strictly gold.
Right, right. Because Asia, she's gonna do her thing. Brittany Griner's gonna do her thing. 6'9", holding down the middle. Brianna Stewart, she's crafty, and I haven't even talked about Deanna Taurasi, right? Kelsey Plum. I haven't talked about any of them, but when they put it, and I'm a New York City kid, so I'm a New York Liberty fan. Yeah, Inescu, Breonna Stewart. So shout out to the New York Liberty, even though I'm in Utah and I got the Aces down in Las Vegas, right? We won't talk about them, but they beat us last year. But it is exciting. It is exciting. And, some of the things with Sha'Carri Richardson, the trials that she went through and the things that she went through to come back, right? And you have Gabby Thomas. I mean, it's so many strong and powerful. The 4x4 women's 4x1 women's relay won gold last night. I mean, come on, Dr. Hall. Come on. Why don't we know this? Why aren't the networks, why aren't the networks covering more of the women's athletics? Because these women are strong and they're killing it, and the dollars are coming. The dollars are coming.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, if you want an example of what diversity, equity, and inclusion looks like, the
Yes.
Olympics.
Yes.
period, right?
Yes.
If you want to know what Title IX looks like, the Olympics, every woman at the Olympics is enjoying the fruits of Title IX, 1972 law. So the money's there, the talent is ridiculously overflowing, and the interest, right? So now it's the executives that say capture and hold on to the enthusiasm and the exhilaration and the participation in fan base.
Yes, ma'am.
Fan base.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
see
Sure.
the arena and the stadiums?
And so 2028, I am trying to get myself and my family to Los Angeles so that I can take some of that in, right? It's been in the United States before, Atlanta, Georgia, 1996.
Mhm.
Winter games up in Salt Lake City, here by me. Uh, Los Angeles, about 6 hours away.
Mm.
If I got to sleep in a tent, if it's too expensive, I have to sleep in a tent. That's what we're going to do. But before we go, Dr. Hall, please tell us a little bit about your book because you're an author.
Ooh, well, thank you so much for that. And congratulations to you on your book. So I'm such a proponent of leadership. One of my tagline is leadership is real. And I had the opportunity to write a book to allow leaders, because we all are, a deep dive into yourselves as a leader. You can read it once, twice, doesn't matter how many times, but it allows you to be realistic with yourself. Chapters of my favorites, as they all are, all 10, but 1 and 3 in particular. 1, no more excuses, eliminate excuses. 2, parting ways with procrastination. And lastly, communication. Say what you mean what you say. 7 other fantastic chapters, but this is a deep dive into the inner look of yourself and the inner works of you as a leader.
Absolutely.
Yes.
10 tremendous. Can you put that banner back
Yes.
up there for me, Jay? 10 tremendous leadership lessons, a guide to leadership learning by Dr. Karen Hall. And Dr. Hall, where can they get your book at?
Sure, and they can go to Amazon.com as well to
Okay.
find my book, literally under my name and title.
Yes, ma'am. And then how can people get in contact with you, Dr. Hall?
Sure, they can get to me by my email, which is drkarenhall@yahoo.com. Don't forget the period there. And then lastly, LinkedIn. I'd love to connect with those of you that are interested in hearing in more of the story and how we can partner.
And absolutely. And for those of you presidents, provosts that are out there that are looking for dynamic leadership, innovative leadership, fiscal responsibility, administrative experience, you need to get in contact with Dr. Karen Hall because you will have someone that you can trust, that you can lean on, that you can lean into to help you continue the work in your institution, right? She'll be aligned with your strategic plan. She'll be aligned with your mission and your vision. You need to give Dr. Karen Hall an opportunity to come lead your athletics program.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And so, Dr. Hall, again, I appreciate you so much. My sister from another mister, I appreciate you. And thank you so much. And we'll be talking soon. Thank you for being on the show.
Dr. Brown, wonderful to see you. And thank you for allowing me this platform. Awesome.
Absolutely. Hey, as I say all the time, we have seen another great individual in athletics. And as I close the show, I want to talk about what we've been talking about all day is the opportunity to give someone a chance to show improve themselves, right? And as you saw with Dr. Hall, her book talks about leadership and it talks about 10 tremendous opportunities to be a better leader. And what she also talked about is not looking for a handout, but looking for an opportunity to show someone that she, along with the other young people, men, women, minorities, can get in that opportunity and show and prove and do it the best that they can. And again, I'm so glad to be back in these episodes to give you all an opportunity to see different points of views, right? Safe space, opportunities for everybody to come on this show and talk about the things that are most important to them: athletics, education, sports, entertainment, faith, family, all of those things that we welcome here at From the 80s View. And again, you can see us Sunday evenings at 6:40 Central, 7:40 Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be right here waiting for individuals like you to tune in to our show. And I thank you so much for everything that you've done for From the 80s View. Good night. God bless.